Hey everyone, welcome to me
Sorry, is that my cue? That's my cue.
and my golf.
And this is live lessons with Carly Booth. So we'd like to talk about your golf swing. So, you know, some of the things that you've worked on. I know you've had a transition to a new coach, Robert Rock, recently. So it'd be great to talk about some of the things that you've worked on, and then maybe share some of the different shots that you play and the techniques that you use for the guys at home.
I was there just practicing away, and you know, any advice at that point in my life was very crucial to me. And he just gave me a drill to do. Something that I struggled with was I was coming a little bit inside shut, and then when I came to the ball, I was either too open, so it would go right, or I would kind of try and hold it off by kind of pulling it left. We worked really hard on just literally the takeaway. So my takeaway, he said, I want to give you a drill to get your club face more square at target. So my club face was literally, feel it there, you see it square, and then just fold your arms. So that stopped me from going more round. It just meant I was more kind of on plane and more square. And then I can just literally really be aggressive through to the target. So that was the only thing I worked on for a good month. Went to Dubai, and then spent 2 weeks there just practicing on this drill. And then, you know, I'll hit it now for you.
Yeah, that's it. And it's amazing, isn't it? Because obviously Rob's telling you to get the feeling of getting these arms and getting them up and just getting them straight up. But the reality isn't exactly like that, is it?
But then for me, for example, like for many, many months where I'm just practicing this drill, it became part of my swing. On social media, a lot of people had kind of messaged about like, what's going on
What are you
with your
doing?
swing?
Are you going crazy?
That looks weird. Like, I mean, what's going on? Like, my answer to their question is the fact I had to go through a phase with my own swing to get myself into a position that became more natural to me.
The good thing is, the good thing is that you made that decision that you were going to only do that drill, which meant that it was only ever going to get there. It was going to get there quicker, wasn't it? Which is the best thing about that.
Yeah, I mean, there was moments where I wanted to make it a one-piece takeaway so quickly, because obviously from the comments of people, and I'm thinking, right, I need to figure out how to make this a one-piece takeaway straight away. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you, and I needed that little bit longer process to just work on it, have time to figure out what is going to work best for me.
Yeah. It's interesting as well, because you were saying you were almost going to change it for the people who were commenting about it, when really it's nothing to do with them.
No.
If it works for you, you've got to ignore them and do what feels right.
You know, and a conversation we had earlier is the fact that, you know, golf, you think about it, the top 10 players in the world, how different do each of them swing?
All different.
So you have to do what's best for you personally.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a tour player, and I have to do what's best for me personally to make the results that are going to be most beneficial to me and my golf.
Me and my golf, you got that. Me and my golf in the team already.
I know. I'm good.
She said she was going to get that in earlier.
So good.
Should we see a few more shots? Because I want to see a few more shots, because
Yeah.
it's a great golf swing, and I think
Really
you know what's good about this now. You have managed to blend it into a more of a one-piece move, and it definitely looks in a good place.
I feel happier. I feel more content. I can see the kind of shots I'm trying to play now. A lot of things that we work on as tour players or being on the professional circuit is visualization. I mean, as soon as I'm over the ball here, I can see exactly the shot I want to play, and I think that's what's really helped me massively, is now I'm seeing the shots I want to play. So for me,
routine helps that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
routine is massive. So I mean, I see a 150 there, so you know.
And as you said, the hard work. Yeah, very nice. The hard work has been done earlier in the year, hasn't it?
It has. You're obviously an athlete as well, Carly. And
Used to be.
used to be, and you make a really good turn. You've got a big turn, but not a lot of hip turn. So there's this very much this flexibility, this good move, which is hard to get for most golfers, but certainly helps you.
For me personally, with the flexibility and everything, it doesn't then affect me where I need to get into a certain position, where I'm sure some people might struggle.
Yeah.
but also I think I have an over flexibility, which actually doesn't help me at times.
Unstable almost.
So I have to almost refrain myself from going too far. So it's about balance, you know.
But the strength work helps that as well, though, doesn't it? Because I know a lot of golfers do that. Rory has worked really hard at his strength because of the mobility he would have. He needed to obviously get that stability.
I mean, you see like the likes of the best golfers in the world. I mean, there's not a single player now, whether they look like they work out every day or they don't. I mean, they work on what works for them.
Of course.
And they work on the flexibility or the mobility that each player on tour right now has to make them a better player.
Yeah.
It's more a mental game, so if you've got the mental strength, but that was where everyone you can see now is becoming so much fitter, is because the more fitter you are, the more mentally stronger you are. It's about being better in your mindset.
Of course.
as well.
It's specific
So
to you, isn't it? It's very much.
Everything's very specific to yourself.
Should we get Carly hitting a couple of different shots?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
sure.
We want to hit the driver, but not yet. So I know we spoke about this before, and this is a shot that you worked at. So, and this is really good for anyone watching this, because let's say that you've got 132 yards. Okay, so we know
we're not going to go.
we're going that route. We're going that route. Well, we can go whatever route on that, but at 132, you hit your pitching wedge 130, yeah?
My pitching wedge is about a 128 yard shot.
Okay. But you could get that 132 if you decided to hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, but then it's going to spin.
Okay, so I think a lot of people who are watching this video now would be going along the lines of, if I just get the best out of it, it'll be perfect. But as you say, it'll probably come up short.
So something that I've had to deal with the last couple of weeks, playing in Scotland, Scottish Open, British Open, there's a lot of shots where I've had, okay, that's the perfect distance for that club, but it's not going to be or finish at that distance because of the wind or the slope or the spin. So I've had to really adapt to a lot of shots recently where I'm just gripping down and playing a more of a feel shot and playing the bigger club and letting it go a little bit less distance. But that for me would take off a lot more spin.
Okay.
My 9-iron is a 135 club.
Yeah, okay.
Where my 8-iron is a 145 club and it's a 138 shot. So I could try and really, really hit my 9-iron really hard, but I know that it's just not going to get there. So I'd rather grip down the 8-iron and try and control a shot that I know that could maybe be just maybe 5-10 yards long, but I think from the position of the green, everything involved in the slope of the green, I'd rather be just long.
A little bit long. It's kind of like an 8.5 iron that you're hitting, isn't it? It's a weaker 8.
And this is what the mistake of a lot of amateur guys do. They just try and smash the club as far as they can go, including Pierce, by the way. He does this a lot.
All the time. It's more fun. Come on.
I saw it today. No, I think, this is little things that, I think as a professional and being on tour now for 10 years, it's something I still make mistakes all the time, but this is why you either have a really good caddy or you have learned through past experience on how to play as a professional. So you have to think of your strengths and you have to think of what's the best miss. It's almost like, what's the best miss for me today? Okay, I'm probably better missing it 10 yards long than 10 yards short. So that's why you think of a shot where, right, okay, I'm going to grip an 8-iron. If I flush it, it might go a little bit long, but at least I know I'm in a position where I could still make a birdie.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, hit a few where you just actually hit these 8.5 irons, because this golf swing is so good.
So you grip it down and just talk us through what else you think about.
If I'm going to try and hit like a kind of grip shot, it's still middle of my stance, but my swing is just a little bit shorter.
You can see the through swing as well. Just hold it there for me. Look at that finish, obviously, Andy. You can see it's being held off. Ball flight a little bit lower, maybe.
And it's more of it's almost, for me, it's more of like a punch shot.
Yeah.
So it's going to come, the flight's going to be a little bit lower and it should check more.
Yeah, it's not coming back towards you. It's landing, stopping with a little bit less spin.
Moving forward, but then it's going to kind of grip.
Hit another one of those, because that's really good.
Yep.
Look at the strike there as well. I think the majority of people watching this, Andy, would love that, wouldn't they? Ball then turn.
And we just never see the majority of golfers do this. They always go with that full swing, and I think it's a great tool to have. You look at the best players in the world; they all do this shot. They all have this.
The best example is Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah.
I mean, you see his finish is properly like this, and people like that I'm in awe of, because I see that and I think, you know, I wish I could do that like constantly. But
You're doing okay.
You're doing
You're not doing a bad job. You just won,
I
so
know,
you're
but,
doing
you
all right.
know,
Okay, let's do one more of these, and then we'll get the driver on the go
Definitely
pieces.
get the
We'll have a
driver out.
drive as
We'll
well.
see that, haven't we? And definitely looking at your golf swing as well. We've been seeing this golf swing for a few years as well now, and it definitely is different to what it was at the beginning of the year.
Piss, I think you need to start practicing that shot, by the way.
Especially
if you want to start beating me.
after British Open, Scottish Open, Irish Open,
That's what you're playing all the time.
you play all these links.
That
kind of
happens though,
shots.
doesn't it? You
Yeah,
do
get into
adapt. Yeah.
Oh,
There we go,
thank
the
you.
driver.
Almost becomes the norm.
No, it's true. Like, and then you get into that kind of habit of playing everything a little bit lower.
What loft do you play in the driver?
10.5.
10.5. And shaft?
Shaft
Is it is the hazardous rubber?
Project X.
6.0. Okay, so it's like
6.0.
it's pretty stiff.
Talk us through your drive.
But
Just give us a
with
long
driver,
drive.
I mean, you know, I could be here all day now because we can talk about different shots. So for me, I tend to play a slight draw when I'm really hitting it well. My mindset is quite a mid-range flight. It's not too high. Depends, if the wind's really downwind, I tend to tee it a little bit higher and try and kind of use the wind to my advantage. If you're always trying to play against the wind, obviously you can't control the distance. It's not in your favor because it's always going to be shorter than what you can play. I'm going to try and play like a nice kind of high left to right shot.
Falling off the wing.
Yeah.
So where do you want this to start? The target?
I'm going to start literally at the 200.
Yeah.
And it's going to go over the 200 or just slightly right.
Just fall off it to the side. Okay. So yeah, please, anyone watching this, don't try this backswing at home. There's difference between the hips and the torso. Maybe you should do that when you play as well all the time. Just do a commentary on it.
Just like that, yeah.
Perfect.
The fact that you actually talked about exactly what you wanted to do, that's what you guys should be doing at home. Exactly, what do I want to do here?
That was your visualization, wasn't
if
it?
I can say something today, it's literally, you have to visualize the shot you want to play. If you come over a golf ball and you think, oh my God, I don't know where this is going to go, how do you expect yourself to kind of achieve what you want to achieve?
Yeah.
Because if you can't see what you're trying to do, then, I mean,
How are you
it's
going to
gonna
get to
be
it? How are you going to get to
very
it?
difficult for yourself.
Obviously, we're all coming to an end. In a moment, we're actually going to go over there and Carly's going to be taking part in the trick shot show. So that's going to be fun as well. So Carly, thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Really
as
good to get an
always, guys.
insight on that.
Thank you so
Make
much.
sure you follow Carly on social media. We'll put the links in the description down below.
Likewise.